I be moving shit, all in kennel wig. Got this one native bitch, she live in kennel wig. She stripped in Richland, do hair and get it in. Got hoes that going for me, freedom risking. I got 2-3 hoes, they gon' get it done. This they zip code, 99301. They hit PP loans, so meant for moving O's. They in Section 8, probably never own a home. And I get it in Yakima, 98903. White bitches smoking, she gon' die about me. 98904, she my 304. 98908, that bitch train to go. And them blues got me in my state. I got clientele in the Tri-Cities. LA Fitness, I be moving weight. Get your head off, take it off my plate. And them blues got me in my state. I got clientele in the Tri-Cities. LA Fitness, I be moving weight. Get your head off, take it off my plate. I'm in a D-Star hotel, cost 133. It never occurred to me. Moving a bird at least, move 2,000 blues for that 5 apiece. I just hit that Tri-Cities like a robbery. I'm in a 99336, got weather be hot as shit. My purse be high as shit, but the fiends don't buy that shit. Then I drive to the 99352, I'ma make them buy these blues. Tripping out that rental car, but I still all buy by the rules. Moving in Eastern Washington, had to drive through Ellensburg. Had to stop in Lakeland, cause I had to sell a few birds. Tri-City bitches go for me, cause I'm hella good with these words. And you ain't even move that way, and I know it can sound absurd. And them blues got me in my state. I got clientele in the Tri-Cities. LA Fitness, I be moving weight. Get your head off, take it off my plate. And them blues got me in
Ain't that like button?
I got clientele in the Tri-Cities. LA Fitness, I be moving weight. Get your head off, take it off my plate.
Bang that like button. What's going on? What's going on? Hey, we got to get up in here, man. Saturday. What's going on, y'all? Dickie Foster in the building. Oh, man. Salute everybody in the building. You know, APBT magazine's always going to bring you a pop-up live stream out of nowhere. You know what it is. You know what it is. Melly Montana, Jerry Hatton Jr., what up, brother? What is going on? Tap that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, support the channel. What the Helly TV, we getting it in, man. We over here, we talk about everything, but I always got to bless my core audience. That's my Bulldog family. You know, if you got the American Pit Bull Terrier, you're definitely on the right track when it comes to the finer things in life, right? And those that want to elevate and learn more about the game, that's where I come in at. The advanced class, people that understand genetics, want to be able to navigate out here with effectiveness. Smash that button. If you want to do any of those things I just explained, you at the right spot. We'll definitely give you that dose of that utmost. You dig? You know how we do, man. Let's get it in. Genetics. Hey, we always talk about genetics. We always talk about those genetics, man. And I had a few questions on some of the material that I was covering. And I told you I would definitely get back up in there, scroll through, and you know, explain a few things. If there's any questions, go check out that I think it's on Buck City Reloaded. You got to check out that Buck City Reloaded if you want to check out that last lecture we did. The good one. Got a lot of good reviews from it. Okay. Let's get in here. Let's get in here, man. Let's get in here. Dominant versus recessive traits. Why traits disappear then return. We had a few different explanations needed, and it can mean a couple other things, depending on how you're looking at it. There's always two sides to every coin, right? Particular traits that you're looking for. It'd be a lot to unpack. Talking about the dominant traits, right? Those dominant traits that you see in a dog, it's definitely something that you can say, well, he's so dominant on that, then it would be automatic. Once I breed him to this dog, once I take this female to him, however she's bred or whatever she's bringing to the table, right? A lot of times it's going to be you breeding a female to the dog that's counterproductive. If he has a lot of rear end drive and his abilities are his leverage, the way he's able to leverage things, and then you throw him with a dog, she might be good, but she's throwing different traits that counteract what you're actually trying to add to the dog. So I always say pay attention to even how the specimen is just looking, period. Dominant trait shows up with one copy. Right. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, man. What's going on, man? What the hell, man? I got dropped the link, man. What's going on? What happened? What happened, man? We on the what the hell, man. Everything goes. Rock in the building, salute. Roll up, Reek in the building, salute. AQH, what up, brother? Mike Dan. Hey, man, what's going on? You guys fill me in, man. We just in here chopping it up, man. I had to get up in here with y'all. I ain't gonna forget about y'all. Although we busy, man. We're trying to figure some stuff out. Some serious stuff, some life-changing stuff. Hey, man, salute everybody, man. Pull up, hit the like button. Let's get this out to the algorithm. Let's see how many we can get in the building. Today. Let me see. Hey, let's get it in. What I missed, man? What's going on in the neighborhood, man? You got what I missed, man? Call in. Let's hear it. Let's hear it for the community. What's been going on? Salute my brother Cold Mountain Bulldog. Salute Cold Mountain. He's putting in some work over there, man, making it look real fun, bringing the fun back to the game. I think he had like a couple weeks ago some tug of war going on. Then he was on the yard, getting it in, few different things, feeding different things. It was a good video. Good video, man. It's good to see cats popping out, putting in that work. Not worried about nothing else. Just focus on your own. I mean, it ain't like you can't focus on nothing, but every now and then, you want to be able to, focus on your own stuff. See how that works out for you. You dig? Janae Johnson, what up? Let's deep dive. Pink runs. Big Bank Hank, what up, brother? Salute. Getting it in, man. Team Mike. I feel like some superstars is being made. I feel like some of y'all been paying attention, you done really dug in that bag, and I feel like it's some superstars being made. I've been seeing some breedings, and it ain't been very many that I could say don't make sense, It's a good space, man. That's a good space to be in. You try to do so much yourself to keep the bloodline right. But when you see other people doing it, hey, you guys over here wilding in the chat. You guys wilding. Phenotype over pedigree. I like that. I like that, man. That's what I'm talking about. Get these questions up in here. How many undesirable traits can a dog have before you decide to add the specimen to your program? Undesirable traits. That's the question right there. That's that. It depends on what it is, man. When there's certain things, a lot of this stuff ain't gonna be printed. As far as if we're talking about back in the day, a lot of those things, some of those traits, different things, they might not show up as a typical recessive or dominant trait. Like if you just Googled it and you were just looking at traits, just like the red nose is typically a recessive trait. Long hair is a recessive trait. Short hair is a dominant trait. Erect ears, that would be a dominant trait. Flop ears would be a recessive trait, right? Just to name a few. So if you're just looking at looking at it from that perspective, But a lot of times, you know, APBT, like how much of that do we care about? Right? Do we care? We care about that? I guess if you see a APBT with longer fur, you know, that would definitely be a recessive trait appearing, you know, popping out. And if you had two copies of it, then yeah, your dog could probably come out with longer fur. Some people see that in their dog, right? And I'm telling you, check out them studs. Them studs is popping. Them studs is popping. Iceman, Hannibal Lecter. It's, you know, just to name a couple. Baby Osiris, the, you know, living Michael Myers' sons, still around, kicking up dust. You know, get it. Game Dog University, what up, man? You got that cloud. What you smoking, man? What's going on, man? Tap in. It's a cool show, man. You know, we ain't really doing that. We're gonna answer some questions though. I bet that. Um, he said, Buck chill, AQ and Mike Dan got the floor. Why don't y'all call in, man? What everybody scared to call in, man? Well, we can't, well, we can't get none, man. We can't get none, y'all. Come on, man. I've been missing a lot. I've been missing a lot. You know, I've been missing a lot. You know, we just looking at traits and different things. Smash that button. The bell's ready. Also, make sure you got that APBT magazine. Make sure you got that APBT magazine. I can't stress that enough. Appreciate y'all that just been snatching them up. I check the analytics at least a few times a day just to see if some jugs done happen. And yeah, most of the time, yes. So I appreciate that. I know I haven't been pushing it that much, but when we in the creative space, hey, we can't always just push it. Just know that when I do got time to do a live stream, I'm getting it in. So if you buying those magazines, um, you're definitely donating to the ability to be able to do these streams on a regular clip. You dig? I know it's some haters. I know, man. I hear the hate, everything. You know, I get it, bro. You know what I'm saying? I would hate too. You know, if I sat on my motherfucking ass and didn't do shit, and then just let somebody just slide through like King Von and just, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. I be hating too, bro. But the thing about it, you got to find a way to align yourself with powerful men. That's the thing that a boss would do because that brings more resources to your situation, whether if it's your yard, if it's anything. See, you don't go against the grain, you go with the grain. He said they dry hate. Man, what's going on, man? You guys ain't gonna let me know nothing, huh? Okay. That's cool. That's cool, man. That's cool. outcrossing and genetic reset. I think I got about 5 or 6. I'm gonna go back through, just chop it up, spend a little time on it. If there are any questions or anything, I explain it to the best of this pink runts, pretty much. But it's always ways to get deeper into each subject, and that's what we're here to do. So you know, basically, this is your outcrossing, genetic reset. A lot of times them dogs are bred so tight, and we want to, let's be honest, if there's a dog that's bred really tight, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna pray that dog, the way it's that tight, I'm gonna pray that it was captured the right way. I'm gonna pray that whoever was breeding that dog, whoever, they had good dogs in mind, and with the intention, because a lot of times you won't know. I saw some red boy stuff today, and it was really tight on this stuff. You see about 3 or 4 generations of this dog, right? This camp right here, and then it goes back to some stuff, and it, on the top, I think it went back to that Benny stuff. And then you go on the bottom, you see some different red boys and stuff, and they're really tight. Look seemingly that they're captured the right way. But if it's not, then see, now we got another problem, because we can always say genetic reset, right? The dog gets too tight, we make an outcross, genetic reset, right? Why outcrosses feel unpredictable? Of course, you're splicing 2 different genetics together, right? And you don't know how they're going to react to each other, right? You probably seen a partner do one, or he did that same type of breeding. He did that. That's called knowledge, right? A lot of dog men did that. You had these type of dogs. You had Boyle's dogs. We crossed the Boyle's dogs with the Luke Hain dogs. That was after years of people doing that. Years of people doing that same cross. Dirty Mary, Black Pass, Luther, all of those dogs. Crossing them with the Luke Hain dogs, heavy Red Boy Jocko dogs with the splash of Bolio, right? And however else they were bred up on the bottom. Some of them went Red Boy Jocko. Red Boy Jocko was popular back then. Okay. So it helps to kind of know the direction, but at the end of the day, you really don't know, right? More genetic variations, less predictability in offspring, sometimes hybrid vigor, right? Put the pad up, J-Bo. Put the pad up. What up, Wayne Mill? What up, brother? Petty Rob, what up? If you're in the Carolinas, tap in. I got some trinkets. That's all I'm gonna say. Tap in. I got trinkets. Sometimes genetic chaos. Sometimes you're gonna breed those dogs, outcross. Why outcrosses feel unpredictable? We don't know. We're just trying this, right? Think it'll work. That's what we're hoping, right? You might get a lot of different things. And it's when you have to have the intuition as a breeder, as a dog man, as a breeder, because being in these dogs a long time, it helped me realize a concept that really don't want to overlook it because it's there, but don't kick yourself in the foot if you don't capitalize on that. But some dogs and some lines, some dogs, I'm not going to say lines, I'm going to say dogs from a particular line. All those good dogs really skip a generation sometimes. Just let that sink in for a second. Let that sink in, because that contradicts everything. That it throws all of the rules that we had off the table, because now we got this other nuance, and that is the fact that some dogs, I won't name the bloodlines because that'll start a bar fight. People be throwing bar stools, and you know, I just can't do it. But their grandkids were way better than their kids. Does that make sense? Anybody experience that? To where the grandkids are just way better? Right? Comes from a strong line. These dogs still come from a strong line. It's not like I'm getting a piece of shit and then you breed it and don't get shit, but then they breed that and then they start getting good dogs. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a reasonably decent, reasonably great dog to start. Okay. And it's just a shock that he's really not producing himself. People say that. They use that terminology. Producing himself. Right. Right. So you want to make that reaction when you're breeding. Check the comment. Let me see. Raleigh Shirt Company. What up, brother? Salute all the good dog men in here. We got a blizzard over here in North Carolina. Hey, man, you guys stay safe out there, man. Salute all my dog men in North Carolina, South Carolina. You know, you guys hunker down, man. Make sure those dogs are dry. You know, make one more trip out there to see. I don't see that comment. I think who's that? Petty Rob. I don't see that. Oh no, that's Roll Up Reek. I don't see the comment. Oh, here we go. Okay, so what's the panel's opinion on what you breed and hit that genetic brick wall? Oh, that when you breed and hit that genetic brick wall, do you scrub the whole program or outcross with strict rules? And Buck, I'm in NC, holla at me. Yeah, nah, hit me. Just, hey, I got all these contacts. I got at least 8 ways to get a hold of me. Tap in, my brother. Yeah, let's deep dive. Let's deep dive. Let's deep dive. Let's deep dive. Hey, get on Amazon. Go on Amazon.com. Type in APBT. I think you could just type in APBT. APBT magazine gonna pop up. Volume 3 is fire. Volume 1 Reloaded is fire. I don't know what else to say. You know what I'm saying? We just been putting belt to ass. Just been a whole lot of belt to ass. You feel me? But tap in, man. Get that magazine. APBT magazine is for the real bulldog community. History, bloodlines, interviews, health and culture, documented the right way. Support Real Bulldog Media. Grab your copies and the 2026 calendar today. APBT Magazine, preserving the breed, protecting the history. Hey, Havoc, man. Appreciate the super sticker, the $5 holla, man. Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you, man. All the support, all the love and support. You know, they make sure they give us a little check. It ain't nothing fat. I'll let y'all know if they start giving me something fat, but just know they ain't giving me much. But all of that shit adds up. It makes sure that, you know, you at least reach that threshold so they can at least slide you something. You know what I'm saying? Every month, in and out. Even though I've been inconsistent, you guys haven't. You guys been very consistent with the support. I appreciate it. You dig? Melee, what up? Hey, I need you guys, if you guys got those APBT magazines, I really need you guys to do me a favor and, you know, take some pictures, man. Send it to your boy so I could post them. I could post it, show people enjoying what we put out there. And, you know, that goes for promotion. People see you enjoying it, then they get to asking like, hey, where do I get one? You know, so it's all good promotion, y'all. You know, help a brother out. It don't cost you nothing just to make a little short, you know, or just send me a little quick video or a picture of you reading it or a picture of it on the countertop, you dig, in the Rolls Royce, wherever, man, wherever you at, man. Just tap in, man. It's all good. It's all good. You dig? Genetics don't work like a blender. Let me see. Hold up. Roll up, Reek. We got to get that back up there. Let me get this back up there. Okay, so when you breed in and hit that genetic brick wall, right? Do you scrub the whole program, right? And see, this has to do with what I'm actually breeding. That's what it would come to, right? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, you know, and sometimes you got to have good intuition about these dogs because every dog in the family is probably not going to be the best specimen. I mean, that would be a good thing. And if you got a high percentage of good dogs, or, you know, that's pretty much, you know, you're producing so many good dogs that, you know, good dogs are just falling out the sky. I think that's the status that everybody wants. But let's be honest, every dog is not always going to work, right? But the program can still work, right? That dog still can be valuable, right? And all it is your gamble, right? I can breed whatever I want. Let's get this straight. It's probably not the most ethical thing, but I can breed anything pretty much, right? But your program is going to be based on the time and the commitment that you put into it. Are you putting the time into those litters? Are you making sure those litters get into the right hands? That's why back in the day, a lot of camps that we glorify today, it's not that their dogs were better, it's that they were in a working environment to where most of their dogs stayed inside a system, rather if it's between 6 of the homies or it's just you by yourself or you and another partner, you kept the majority of your stock and you showed the stock. Nobody wouldn't care if you lost 20. That would only be for the guys that know you, right? You lost 20 and you won 5. They don't look at that. All they look at is the 5 that you won. Right? So, with that being said, you know, that was kind of on the rabbit hole. But with that being said, it all depends on what that dog is, man. If I'm breeding, I get to this brick wall, and this dog isn't what it's supposed to be, but it comes off of some of my hardest work. And I know deep down inside that it's genetic depression, right? I'm understanding that because I know what genetic depression is, right? I'm understanding that this dog may not be the best specimen, but he might not be, let's say 50 years ago, he might not be a cur. Let that sink in, right? He might not be a cur though, right? So you're not getting the unthinkable, that gene right there, right? You're not transferring that so you can get double copies and all your dogs be flawed generations down. You're not adding that to it. It's coming off some good stock. So in that case right there, I would do an outcross. I would do a soft cross. I made that up. But it'd be a soft cross to where it'll only be 25% out or an eighth out, right? Right. We'll go an eighth out, 25% out instead of just a straight 50-50 dog, right? That would be a soft out. Outcross, it's got to be strict rules. Me personally, I don't believe that an outcross dog um of course any dog can have anything, but we're talking about the same dog in the same situations coming down off the same stock that's in the same environment going through the same thing, you know, because I could have an outcross dog and he could be a decent producer. You could have a tightly bred dog, he could produce like shit. Who's going to produce better? Of course, the outcross dog, because he naturally is a better producer than that other dog, right? So then you got to ask yourself, if that same outcross dog can produce average, right? Imagine if he was tightened up, right? He produced decent. He's a good dog, good specimen. Let's say he has a littermate sister. That's a good specimen. I told somebody this. They're going to regret this later on. They're going to regret this later on. I know how these dogs are bred. I know about when that vigor is going to pop up, right? You got a great male, but he's really not producing at that clip. He really doesn't have, and he had the time. He had years to produce this and that, but he really not producing on that clip right there. As a matter of fact, there's other dogs in close proximity that don't have half of the talent that can produce better, noticeably better. Right. So the strict rule is going to be the same. You got to make sure those outcross dogs are fitting the standard and actually something that you really like, because if you do that outcross and they come out or the genetics are all over the place, right? Then you're going to breed that dog. You're going to get genetics that are all over the place. They're all over the place. So you need to really get a grip on that and find out what that is. But no, I wouldn't say scrap the whole program unless there was just no productivity with the program at all. And there was no traits or, pretty much nothing that I really like out of these dogs. Then I'll scrap the program. Right. We check some messages. Yes, sir. Hey, tap that like button. Throw a dog a bone. It don't cost it nothing to tap the like button. Uh, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Okay. Jeans don't work like a blender. Um, you just not. It's not gonna be. Even if I crossed this dog and I bred this bitch, and then I took it to the one dog, and I took that same bitch back to a half brother. So you're thinking that some of the dogs are the same. I got the macho buck on the top. I got the macho buck on the bottom. You know, you're thinking, but they don't always cross up like that, dog. Some of those dogs, they just weren't zeroed in on those traits. All right. And then you got some dogs that are almost a genetic copy of their dad or their mom. Right. Right. Some traits are dominant, some are recessive, some are polygenic, many genes involved. Let me see.
We hear you looking for Candyman, bitch. Step.
You heard him. You heard him. Smash that like button, man. Appreciate everybody in the building. Smash the like. Bad traits. This is what we don't talk about. Let's talk about it. Let me get this up here. I don't got this one. Salute, everybody. Salute, everybody. You know what it is, man. You know why we do what we do. Hey, Ween, man, that touched my heart, man. You know, seeing the fam rocking out, eclectic, the fam, hey, the fam, they really rock out with Buck City, man. I'm loving that, bro. I swear that right there, that lets me know. That lets me know, man. Lets me know, man. Get up here, man. Sometimes it's just that energy, bro. Just, some people got that same type of like-minded energy. We need to link up more. Let me throw this one up on there. Get some bad traits, mental temperament traits. I don't want that, right? It's whack. don't want to bombard you, you know? Yeah, nah, hey man, look, that was too dope. That was too dope. The fam, you know, with the book, the everything, man. From the ground up. You know, we want to touch the mom and pop spots, man. Check it out. You got people locked up. Tell them to get that APBT magazine, man. Order that for your people, man. They locked up. Send them a book to read, man. Send them some shit to read because you can't get this type of stuff up in there. You know, you can't get this. You can't get this. You can't get this sauce while you up in your cell, right? These need to be on all the compounds across America because this is created by somebody that was in there just like them, right? We're not looking down on people. I look at somebody that do a bid and get out and put 10 toes down and come up and catch back up to the people that never went down before. I look at those dudes with a different eye, bro. Maybe that's just me, but a motherfucker that got his hands behind his motherfucking back and he still prevail, right? That's kind of like these dogs, man. I'm just saying. It's kind of like these dogs, man. You dig? Let me get in here. Bad mental temperament traits, unstable nerves, nervous, spooky, easily stressed, fear, aggression toward people, right? Random reactivity without control, lack of focus or trainability, right? These are all bad traits that dogs have that you can find out over time, right? Lack of focus, right? Lack of fucking focus. Damn, did I say lack of focus? Okay. That's because they're not really locked in on what they're doing, right? Poor recovery from stress. Excessive timidity, just yeah, I mean, you just don't want it, man. Salute, Lamont Grant. What up, brother? Hyper anxiety, you know, just different things that you're just really not trying to deal with. Inconsistent temperament from day to day. That's just mental, right? Temperament traits, you know, aggression toward people, fear biting, not confident, not a confident dog that's confident in his own skin. Doesn't have these spooky, nervous, right? We give them so much time, you know. Some dogs throw those. I had a bitch, she threw that. She was an incredibly bred, good dog, but she threw incredibly spooky dogs, you know, and her litters wasn't big enough to not get those two that she's gonna throw you. She's gonna throw you two dogs. They're gonna be spooky, man. You got to tell whoever's getting it, you know, like this dog right here is gonna be spooky, man. Are you sure you want this? You want to take that chance of bringing him out of his shell? Easily spooked. You got some bloodlines that are rambunctious. They don't really care. They don't really care what's going on, man. They're there just to cause havoc. They don't care where they're at. The beach, in front of 1,000 people, walking down the street, in the backyard, bring them inside in the basement. Good nerves. Alert, focused. High prey drive, right? Then you start getting into the other things. Athleticism, right? Or the lack of. You can't train the dog. You can't get him to do anything. He doesn't want to work the meal. You've been working on him. He just doesn't want to do it. Right? You had him since a pup. He still doesn't want to do it. Doesn't want to work a hide. No flirt pole action. Right? Get that. Tap in with me. Tap in with me. You know how we do. Reality check. You're managing probability, not destiny. This is that one. Hey, eclectic. Where's eclectic? This that one. No breeder controls everything. Only probability can improve. Right. Every breeding ain't gonna work, bro. Every breeding. That's why I talk about these frozen semen breedings. Because it's real easy to talk about them when you were around those dogs that they're actually popping out with again. You know, you were of the age of owning those dogs that they're popping out with, and you've seen pretty much something off of every last one of them, right? And so people will try to convince you that just because it's coming down off of some frozen semen, some old frozen semen, that it's automatically gonna be, and that'll be controlling everything, right? Because those dogs, even back in the day, they were producing plenty dogs that had bad traits and that you did not want to double up on. You did not want to keep breeding that because you're going to keep getting the same type of dog, mediocre type of dog, right? So your probability improvement is going to be based on the good quality that you're actually breeding instead of the names that you're breeding, right? You could have two good dogs that are just producing tens all the time. Like, we don't need to look at their pedigree. to know that they're producing 10s. That's what you get. It's a high clip. On a bad day, they producing a 6, right? A 6 or a 7. So your probability of getting a 2 is very low. And how are you going to increase your probabilities of getting a higher caliber dog? Let's say 5s and up, 6s and up, right? If you're producing 4s, yeah, they can. You're producing enough to wow a rookie or somebody that doesn't have success with dogs, or they don't have good dogs. If you sell them a 4, I can see them very easily being satisfied with it based on the caliber of dog man they are. But that 4 and 5 ain't gonna fly with somebody's refined program. And it's refined, and they know these dogs. This bitch, she bred 4 times. You know what she's producing. This male, yeah, she's bred with him 1 time. So when I do those, or I do something similar to that, because I know what she's producing already. I know what he's producing. That's what it is. The sister's producing, the brother's producing. Those guys on the other side of the country got some of those dogs. They're producing good dogs. So all you can do is increase the probability of you getting a good dog. I just want a high probability that if I spend my money, rather if it's $1,000 or fucking $4,000, 2,500, I just want to know that I got a high probability of getting something that I can move on with and don't have to, cull it out. It's something that I really like this. This is what it is. I like her. She's not exactly like Weird Jack, but, I can tell that Weird Jack blood is definitely in this dog, right? If she's just another dog that's just, it doesn't have nothing special, no traits, no nothing, then what are you going to do? You going to tighten up on her? What are you going to do? Consistency comes from selection and time. Families are built, not bought, right? You're not just going to buy a family of dogs, right? You got to go deep off in the corner, even if you got all the access. The guys that got the access are better off anyway, because you got in-house access to where this breeder, and I've done this plenty of times. Yeah, he might got 100 dogs. He might got all these different dogs, but I'm only there for certain dogs. I sit back and watch, check out how those things are growing up. See some other people bump their head and go buy those so they disappear. We don't never hear about them again. Like, oh man, you sold a lot of those. You really can't jump on everything you see, bruh. There's always some other dogs that are expressing those genes better. And you got to find that out. That's your job to find that out. And if there's a dog that's producing the best type of dogs that you like at a consistent clip, high probability, then you should be locking in on that. Going somewhere else to lock in, that proves that you just bullshitting. You just bullshitting. Right? You could take him out right here. You got the sauce, everything, but you think that you can still goof around. So that's why it's the older, more experienced object in the situation that usually gets the winner's edge, because they're not bullshitting around. They're doing what works. They're not just trying to raise up a whole bunch of dogs and do a whole bunch of blind, shooting blanks and rolling dice all the time. Sometimes I just want to have something good. I'm gonna go to this show, and you got to bring something good to beat me. If I get beat, it's gonna be by something good. It's not gonna be by some bullshit. That's really all you can ask for. Confirmation wise, I don't want to see my dog tucked in between my legs and stuff like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of embarrassing. I'm gonna be honest with you. These are American Pit Bull Terriers. I mean, if it was one of those even those little tiny dogs, they'd be a little Maltese, and they act better than some of these APBTs I see at some of these shows, bro. I'm gonna be 100 with you, man. I'm gonna be 1,000 with you, man.
We're here looking for Candyman, bitch.
Step back.
We hear you looking for Candyman. We hear you looking for Candyman. Havoc with that membership for a month. Hey, appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. The Hazel-Eyed Devil in the building. Salute. Salute to you, brother. Salute. Salute. Trying to get back in here, man, get some more streams in. You guys got to bear with me. I'm trying to get there. I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. I'm going to keep scratching until I free up enough time to do it all. Just do it. Or get on my upload thing. I got to do the upload thing. I tried to upload some videos, man. It took so long, man. I said, man, fuck that. I ain't doing that no more. It was too silly. So it's got to be some upgrading going on. Get some upgrading. And we're going to be right with you with the sauce. With the everlasting sauce. Yes, sir. Appreciate the support. I got to make my little super chat. I got to make my thing so you guys could, we can get in there. Get in there, man. I could salute y'all. Although that I never knew when that one's cold, but it's on my other thing. I still got it though. Why selection beats paper? Phenotype, pedigree alone. So I had to put alone on there because I don't want this to be a battle about phenotype versus pedigree and the dog and all of this, because to me, you're going to start off with a good family, right? You're going to start off with a good family. If I'm doing, because I said I wanted to do some watermelons, right? I'm going to try some. There's going to be a couple crops I'm going to try, right? I usually get my shit from my brother. You know why? Because a lot of the times he's more advanced than me when it comes to his particular garden. Now, I've harvested some things, shared with him. He's harvested more things and shared with me, right? So if he gives me a certain species, strawberry, he gives me a lot of strawberries. I know that they're growing in this environment. I know that they're good. The harvest is good on them, right? So even with the dogs, you're going to want to start off with something that's good, something that produces, and then when it grows up and you harvest good offspring, or good quality of animals, you know. Um, so pedigree, I'm gonna say it again. It means a lot, because with a lot of foo-foo going on with these dogs, we see dudes on Instagram, and we know that they're not the real guys. And I don't want to say that in like some incriminating type of context or something like that, but even some people that that are holding some pieces that really, that we really need to be preserving this over this. Like, every dog is not good, everybody's bloodline's not good, everybody's breeding program's not good, every breeding that you're trying to do is not good. Okay, we got to know that, right? You got to know how to sift through the grift. It's a lot of grift going on. It's a lot of dogs that they only look good on Instagram. They're really not that good. They just look good on Instagram. They don't really have no history of nothing. Their parents wasn't shit, right? The grandparents wasn't shit, right? Other than some YouTube shit or some Facebook shit. No real production. No, these dogs weren't real, like major camps running these type of dogs. So you'll make an account and get to looking through shit, and you don't really know who's who, but the real ones know. We know. We see your program. We see them dogs. We're not stupid. Okay. So, phenotype, characteristics, everything. I think a dog with the best pedigree that is a shitty dog is just as unworthy as a dog with the shitty ass phenotype. Right? You starting off with good pedigrees. That's what you want to do. That's the first thing. Find somebody that has good stock. So you're starting off with good stock. We can't forget that part. Right? You're not gonna buy 10 cars without the title. Right? You're gonna make sure this car is right for you. You're gonna make sure that it came from a good history, rather if it's a used car, or if you're buying a brand new car. You're not just gonna get the car that everybody knows breaks down easily. You're gonna have more problems with this car. I think we've gotten to that point where we try to avoid that type of shit. So if I don't have to get the dog from somebody that's grifting, I won't have to be worried 3 years if these dogs are gonna tank or not. When I actually get a good dog from it, I don't have to second guess and think that it was a fluke, because I know those dogs are good. Lock in, man. You must evaluate what shows up. Breeding dogs, not names. Papers tell you potential. Selection shape the future, right? So it's going to be this ultimate selection. We can all have, there's 5 litters. We all get to pick a dog off of every litter, right? It's 5 litters. Salute, Cosmon. Ramadog, what up, brothers? What y'all on tonight, man? Let me see. What's going on, man? I ain't heard from nobody today. You know? So let's take those 5 dogs. Everybody pick one. Kaz, you pick one. Ramadog, pick one. Havoc, pick one. Rock, pick one. Petty Rob, pick one. All right. I pick one. Right. We take them to where we take them. This my yard is my yard. Your yard is your yard. And we don't talk to each other for like 10 years. Within those 10 years, you can do any breedings you want to do. You could call who you want to call. You could keep who you want to keep. You could say who's the best dog. You could say the king of the yard, the queen of the yard, whatever you want to do. In those 10 years, everybody's going to have a slightly different yard. Right? I might like the Jeep litter. He don't like the Jeep litter. He bred his Jeep dog with the Bolio dog. He don't have his Bolio dog no more, or he still got his Bolio dog, but he likes it better when it goes back to the Frisco shit, right? Everybody's going to have a different vision of what that yard is going to be like, right? And based on your selection, maybe you're just good at selecting dogs. I believe in that. I do. I believe in that. I think that you can really change the trajectory of your program based on carefully selecting out the best specimens and just carefully selecting all the way from puppies. Just knowing how to look at them, knowing how to pick them, knowing which ones to put together. That's selection, right? Knowing when to pay that stud fee. Knowing when it's not worth it. Maybe it's obsolete. Maybe that blood is already good enough the way it is. You don't need to add more to it. You don't need to stack it up. Right? You don't need to compile on bad traits that you think are not going to pop up. That dog is lazy. She got a good pedigree. And you want to stack it on some more shit just because you think you're going to get the traits in the back. But if those traits weren't captured the right way, you're not going to get that. You're going to get the shell of what that dog is. I believe some dogs will suffer from genetic depression and some dogs will just suffer from just a terrible breeding, right? A terrible circumstance, right? Supreme, what up, brother? Small Time Kennels, what up, brother? He said comment deleted again. Yeah, I don't know if nobody deleting nothing, bro. You know, we kind of keep it funky over here, man. You know, we don't really delete no comments. He said he's still gonna have a dog out that dog. Yeah, I mean, you know, hopefully the one that's good, you'll be able to double up on him. You know, if he was really good and he was able to produce you some good dogs, let's say you still got him, the 10 years, that's a long time. You know, you raise the pup up to, 3 years. By then, you should know physically who's who, 3.5. You know what I'm saying? You should know who's jumping that wall and who's not, right? Or who's hunting a hog or who's superior on the yard. You know, I don't have to let these motherfuckers go to know that this motherfucker will go over there and you know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. Some dogs just ain't gonna be able to protect themselves against certain dogs. And we see that and we know that. right? There's too much pressure, too much energy. And yeah, he probably could have been good in his own right. So, hey man, smash the like button though. Shape that future. Shape it. Look at it. Take a second look. Might be one that you should have kept. Keep that joker. Somebody else gonna have it. They might not do what you was gonna do with it, so it might not matter. Or they might do something great with it, which would be good anyway. But as far as you having the ingredients in your house, I can't go to the grocery store and just because the lady got some flour, I just don't have to buy none. Like I got to make sure that I got my pieces, my ingredients in my kitchen, bro. That's for sure. You feel me? So it ain't no selfish thing. It's just the necessities and the comfortability that I have all these pieces right here. That's a yard. Self-sustainable. I can breed these guys with each other, and I don't have to go outside for a long time if I don't want to. I will though, because I like to share the wealth. I like people to see and experience what I'm experiencing, right? But you don't need to, because you made the right selection. You have a standard. You're not going to lie to yourself if you do that outcross and those dogs are not cutting the mustard. Give me the one with the tail up, most outgoing. Yeah, that part. That part. Yeah, my boy showed me a bunch of these, man. He got a few coming down off of this. Matter of fact, OG Loco has one of these too that he posted. Salute to that brother. All the hard work he been putting it in. He said liven the live up. Hey, super chat that thing, man. You know how to liven it up, brother. Come on now. Come on, man. Come on, man. Super chat that thing, man. You got all the bread, nigga. Put up your bins. Come on, man. Nah, that little Mayday. I told you, man. That's that's something you guys gonna want to get your hands on, man. You're gonna want to breed something to this dog. He is open for stud right now in the South. That's gonna be one that you're gonna want to stick something to, because he just got all the components, all the best of the best that's been around for. I mean, we could look at that. That's probably three, 4 decades, 4 decades up front since the cross was made, since the original cross was made, and then continued on doing what it's doing, crossing it up with a lot of the best stuff and and you throw Macho Buck in there, and this and that. Michael Myers, the standalone, that he's his own headliner. Fine to the max, to the ultimate max. Um, just a beautiful specimen. Just anything you touch turn gold type of specimen. Once in a lifetime, you know. Um, and it be like that. Here I am, been around these dogs every bit of 35 years since I was a little boy. Um, a good pushing 30, just for real breeding stock that lasts for a long time, like, actually doing a good breeding that everybody in your fraternity can vouch and say, yeah, that's a good breeding. Those dogs that we can still talk about today. I'm not talking about just pissing in the wind. So you damn near got 27 of of uh of on that level. So you seen the dogs evolve. You seen stuff. You've been through stuff. You remember some of those old dogs. A lot of the problem that I think a lot of us have is the disconnect from the actual dogs that we talk about, from the actual dogs that you have in your hand, right? And it might be because the breeders, they're just not really transparent. They're not, they don't try to educate you on nothing other than how to send the money to them and get your fucking papers, and they don't want nothing to do with you. Let's be honest. They just want your money. Right? They're not gonna help you out. They're not gonna show you what crosses are good, unless it's on their yard that you can buy it from them, you know. So that and people have came through and been able to breed to Little Mayday. Little Mayday, this gonna be people that, 5 years from now, they're gonna tell you how I blessed them and let them breed and able to have these dogs. To that OG Loco could get one and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he can continue his program, what he's doing with the 3/4 Red Boy Jocko Bolio Tombstone with the quarter Old Family Red Nose Out. You feel me? He usually runs it the other way around. Live your life, dogs. What up, brother? He said, how can I send a pet? Uh, I guess you could just drop it in there. Let me see. We gotta get a commercial break first, though, because it's APBT magazine to the world blow, to the world blow. This ain't just a magazine; it's a movement. The American Pit Bull Terrier. Real dogs, real yards, real history. From legendary bloodlines to modern breeders, keeping the flame lit. Yard spotlights, breeding knowledge, controversy, culture. This is for the ones who walk it like they talk it. No fluff, no fakes, just dog man, dog woman, and dogs. Grab your issue now, support the culture. Because the legacy don't live online, it lives in print. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tap in. Tap in. Get that reloaded. Get on Amazon right now. Get that reloaded. APBT magazine. Just type it in. You don't even got to put the periods or nothing. Just put APBT magazine. Go and grab you one. Grab you one of that reloaded. We about to hit this February, man. Boy, oh boy. About to hit this February like a ton of bricks. Hit that February like a ton of bricks, man. Hey, why not? You can't do that. Why not? Old school trophy. They don't know, man. Jermaine Jackson, what up, brother? Yeah, you could drop the. Let me see the one, brother. Let me see. Look at. Let me see, bro. See what kind of shit you trying to send me, dog. Ah, man, come on, man. Damn, man. Why you do that, bro? Why you do that, bro? Why you send me this shit, dog? Why you send me this shit, dog? Yeah, yeah. See, yeah, your ass got a super chat this type of shit. He said live in the live up. Live in the live up. Small time kennels, man. Why you send me that shit, dog? You gotta call in if I'm a put that pad up. Call in, brother. Let's get it in. Come fuck with us. Let's talk about the pedigree. Come on, bruh. I know you out there. What the helly? You know what I'm saying? What the helly? What the helly? We getting it in, man. You know what it is, man. Caveman, what up, brother? Where you been at, Caveman? I ain't seen you in a minute. What the helly? What the helliante? What the helly? He said, damn, Buck, I didn't get the call when I didn't mind. Call in. We'll get it going. Let's get it going. J motherfucking 83, man. What up? Yeah, I got ducked today. I knew it. I was like, man, boy. Hey, what I say, man? It ain't 100%, but they ain't gonna be no fool. They ain't gonna be no fool. And if they are, hey, give me a picture right away. You know the routine, man. You know the routine, man. This shit's only built for Cuban links. You know this. You know this. This is what they don't like. They don't like it. Yeah, I wouldn't have bet 100, but I would have bet 20. I would have lost my dub today. What's up with Stevenson them, man? What's up with are they fighting at night or what's going on with that? Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez fight. Is it tonight or what? Okay. So the fight's tonight. He said, you the podcaster, you speak on it. You know what you doing. You know what you doing, man. Come on, man. Call in, man. Look at the pedigree, man. Now I look at it, man. I'll be very objective, but this is very hard work. You gotta understand that. Next time you're gonna have to at least throw a dog a bone, man, with the on the super chat or something, man. Because man, this is hard work, man. But I'm gonna be objective, man. I'm not gonna shit on it. I'm not gonna shit just because a past felons or Dylan's of felons. It's 7. I told my boys they better clean their room before 7 o'clock. Yeah. Let me let them know I'm standing on business though, because it's exactly 7 o'clock. Let me let them know I'm standing on business. Give me a second.
In a booth like I smoke weed, still I don't smoke weed no more though. I had to get that shit up, man. Like I sip drink, I don't sip drink no more, man. I get that shit up, man. Shit real, man. I had to get that shit up. So it's going through my head though. So much going through my head, don't know just what I'm on. I'm sleeping in the car, I'm hardly ever home. I'm picking up my phone, I can't miss a sale, I can't miss no money, man, I'm gone. She think I'm cheating on, but that ain't what I'm on. I'm racing to that paper, gotta get my own. Only been home for 2 months, why they asking for loans? Steady throwing up the 6, how much I missed the song. STL, that's my home, I don't know what's wrong. The city up in flames, they steady throwing stones. Can't even chill at home, can't even be at home. I was on that one way in that car, they tried to get me gone. Watch out for them boys around you, don't wanna see you on. Watch out for them people around you, they wanna see you gone. Watch out for them boys around you, don't wanna see you on. Watch out for them people around you, they wanna see you gone. So much smoke off in the air, feel like I'm around Cheech and Chong. I be out the way, see catching plays, I stay off in the zone. My geek told me meet up by mailbox, I'm dropping off a load. When we speak, I don't say too much, we just talking cold. Something like a point guard, pull up, I just give and go. I don't need you with my dough, hundo, I'm up with my own. I know they don't fuck with me, you know I'ma set the tone. Pull up to your block and set up shop, you know I get it gone. Watch out for them boys around you, don't wanna see you on. Watch out for them people around you, they wanna see you gone. Watch out for them boys around you, don't wanna see you on. Watch out for them people around you.
Yeah. Only built for Cuban links. Come on. Come on, man. Hey, man, get that magazine. Get that APBT magazine. Go to Amazon.com. Get that magazine. Tap in with some real energy, man. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. Besides, if you fuck with the platform, this is why we do it. For APBT magazine. It's for the promotion of the magazine. Right? These shows are going to get seen all over. Hopefully they'll be getting clipped. And people will be able to go grab those magazines. Even if it's 10 years from now, they'll know to go hit up Amazon and order it. It'll be right to your door. You dig? Let's check out some pedigrees, man. Hey, send that other one, roll up, Reek. We'll check it out. Let me get this up off of here. APBT magazine, Wake and Bake show. Check out the Wake and Bake show. Just be on the lookout. We're gonna get it in. Don't worry about it. We're gonna get it in. Let's get in here, man. Small time kennels in the motherfucking building. Small time kennels. You knew you was bringing this pelican shit up here, didn't you? Nah, man. Look, man, it's a good breeding. I really like the top. That solo dog. I like him a lot. You know, a lot of people don't know this Lady Charge shit. See, we had this Lady Charge shit. You know, there was a bitch right off of Lady Charge in Washington. You know what I'm saying? Up here, one of my good partners had that dog right off of Lady Charge. Her name was Lady. And they bred her to a dog named Chopper. I'm telling you this because niggas be capping. You know, a lot of dudes, like, there ain't really no pedigree. You can't show me that. I seen these dogs. You feel me? Like, I'm glad that everybody's grabbing this shit now, but I really seen these dogs. You see Lady right there, and she wasn't no average dog either. She bred to a dog named Chopper. Chopper was right off of Champion TJ and Indo-Canadian Bell. Indo-Canadian Bell was the only bitch that ever scratched back into Grand Champion 9 milli. You feel me? You feel me? You fuck niggas. I told you, fuck niggas. It's like, sometimes I flex. You got to watch out. If you're not an alpha, you're not going to make it around me. Anyway, there's Chopper right there. Cortez, Chopper. That was a good one. This bitch Talon, you know, this was a good ass dog. You know, they were able to breed that bitch to some shit. But you know, with the Lady Charge, Lady was a good ass dog though, man. This Hobbs Champion TJ to the Canadian Bell dog, the Grand Champion Dr. Doolittle Geek, that geek dog. So no, I respect that blood a lot, you know. Just because, you know, it's homegrown. That Cortez dog was good too. Cortez, one of the only dogs that got that Grand Champion graveyard shit in it. Let's see. This Cortez dog right here. So he was off you know, some Red Boy Jocko Jeep stuff, pretty much. It was just some, yes, it got some buck in there too. But Red Boy Jocko, Jeep buck, the Wild Man dog, and then you see the Weedy dog coming off of that Champion graveyard dog. This is a son of Mayday. He was a good dog. You know, to say the least. You know, he was a good ass dog back in his day. You know, well, it was unfortunate he wasn't able to really breed that much. I had a bitch misfire off of this dog back to a daughter of Chop Chop. I'll show y'all that too. You know, I like to stunt too. But let me see where that bitch at. Let me see. The bitch name was Zena. Zena 2. Oh, there she go. Misfire. She's right here. She was a little tiny ass bitch. She was right off of a daughter of Chop Chop. You know, the handicap, BB Red stuff with, you know, all this blood down here, you know. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Just, I've been around the block. And I own this bitch, but I mean, you see these pedigrees. I mean, they almost been up here 20 years. You know what I'm saying? So that'll give you a little context, bro. A motherfucker just ain't getting up on this YouTube shit, snitching and shit. Like it's more to it than that, man. You got to actually be a real dog, man. Now you don't have to get up on here and tell everything that you've done in these dogs to be cool. You don't have to be that. But when you are that, then you don't have to, because it shows the proof and the put in the documents, different things. I can't make this up. I can't just say that I wasn't Northwest Bulldogging. Like, oh, I wasn't Northwest Bulldogging. No, I was Northwest Bulldogging. And you can see way back, even when you look at this Scooter Red dog, all of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you see these dogs. You see the Mayday Dragon Lady blood in there, the Cruise May I, A Cards Angels, Lady Dragon, people that don't get their flowers. The May 3 dog, that dog was the truth. You see this. I mean, you see the Mayday Dragon Lady. You see these dogs, how tight they're bred. Nobody's gonna have it this tight. This dog was able to breed to a whole bunch of dogs, bro, that I was able to see, good dogs, the Cuda dog, Cuda. I remember this bitch. This bitch was serious. She was serious. She had a brother that was overseas. That was something. This one right here, Grand Champion Thunder. That boy was overseas. He was a monster. Grandson of Big John and Saber with the shady lady stuff. That shit's monstrous right there. You dig? If you know, you know. If you don't know, then just say you don't know. And you could, you just don't know. You dig? But these dogs and this shit is up here. People put this shit up here, man. It's like a Wikipedia. We just here for the historical context of what these dogs were back in those days, and the knowledge and just the footprint of knowing and being able to be around some of these dogs. This Mia X bitch, she was bred pretty good on the Barracuda. She was on that Barracuda stuff. They bred her. The Mia X she was a good little bitch. This is real interesting because my guy, even back then, he was crossing that. He was trying to cross that crab, and what I'm saying, up with that. There's kind of a coincidence. And if you look at this pedigree, it's over 20 years ago. This is, going on 22 years since this pedigree was generated, right? And you go back and look. I mean, you see King Tombstone is right off of Hitler. So if this is a great grandkid, the litter would be of Hitler, and then you got Hitler right back up, and this was 20 years ago. That'll give you the context of what that old ass blood is doing. You know what I'm saying? So just being able to be around those dogs, that's how Michael Myers, all those dogs is bred down off of that stuff. West Penn's Tornado, May. They even did this one too. They did this one. This was super crazy. But it was Cemetery back to May. This dog was named a Cemetery, but his name is May 3. So, and then, I mean, this would be the tightest that it would ever get. Mayday back to his littermate sister. Mayday back to his littermate sister. Mayday back to his littermate sister. Mayday back to, I mean, come on, bro. Come on, man. Come on, man. So now I know these dogs. So when I tell you this, or I know what I see, or I know what I don't see, then I don't see it. Who's this Dolly Day bitch? Oh, who the fuck is that? Okay, yeah, that's Macho Buck's littermate sister. Okay, yeah. You see that? Yeah, you see that right there? Yeah, that's Macho Buck's littermate sister right there. Okay, man. And there was plenty of those. There was plenty of those. I could have bought this bitch too. I could have bought this bitch. There wasn't no Macho Buck. Nobody was talking about Macho Buck at that time. That bitch was the 357 dog. That's what her name was. You know, I could have bought that bitch for a little bit of nothing. You know, straight up. I can't make this shit up. I can't make this shit up. Let me see. Darla. Oh, Darla was a good bitch too. Darla was a good ass bitch too. We had a litter mate to this. A couple litter mates. I had Burns. Burns was a litter mate to this. My dog Burns, but it was right off of Cyclone. Cyclone was one of those Walkmall dogs that, to me, he was a really good dog, and one of them that I think they should have kept in high regard and probably bred down, double and tripled up on him and line bred, off of this dog because he was producing an incredible amount of good dogs. This was mine, just so you could see, motherfuckers ain't bullshitting. We even had this one right here. We had this one. I bred this to my dog Bubba. It was a son of Freeway. It was off Bubba right there. See, Freeway right there. Bubba right there. You know what it is. Come on, dog. Don't play. There go Bubba right there. That's my shit. This over his birthday. He's 22 years old. Come on, man. It's 22 years old, bruh. Northwest Bulldogging. That's me. Come on, dog. Like, let's stop this, man. Now we don't got yellow and shit, triple A. Like, we're not just up here talking about dogs, bro. And I never probably pulled this dog up ever. I probably never pulled him up before. That's how cold I am with this shit. I never pulled him up. This is my shit. I had Remy too. I had one named Remy. You feel me? Yeah, Bubba was that guy. Bubba was that fucking guy, man. I remember that dog. Little Freeway was a good one too. Let me see. Goldie, Bubba, Gas Face. That was that whole litter. Let me see. Freeway. Little Freeway. This was one of the best dogs that I back then. I would say that he was the best dog I produced back then. This dog was amazing. The Locklears Conway, Triple A Saber, Leaky Red, the Leaky Red stuff, the Buck back there, Daisy May in the back. You got the Black Pass, all that shit, St. Benedict's, Meanie. You got the Lucane, Blondie. My partner got the litter mate to Blondie on ice. We had Blondie up here. Big John back to the litter mate sister. This one, the pets were actually real though. Like right now, I don't really know about all the pets that I be seeing nowadays, but that back then, this shit was what it was. Big Red. I got a picture of him. I don't know if I put it in the magazine. I'm gonna probably put the picture that I got of Red in the magazine. Come on, man. What are we doing? This Big John back to his little mate sister. When they bring this back in, nobody's going to have tighter Walk-em-all, closer Walk-em-all. This is real shit, too. I know for a fact, we was like 16 years old when we fucking got this dog collected. 17 years old when we got this dog collected, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Young kids doing it. You know what I'm saying? Now, we inspire guys that's in their 50s to do this shit that we was doing back when, we should have been at the arcade wasting quarters. You feel me? But we was stacking so we could have the best dogs in the world. That's what the mission was, So nah, man, look, man, that pedigree looked good, man. That solo dog, all of that. Keep up the good shit, man. Keep up the good shit. That Blondie 3, all that shit, you know what I'm saying? That's a good one. Back to that. What's this West Penn dog? Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember her. I think they bred her. Either they bred Diana or her. One of these guys got bred to Awesome Beast. I'm not sure. Oh, Awesome Beast right there. Awesome Beast. I remember these right here. I remember these puppies right here. You know what I'm saying? Way back. Look at that's almost 20 years ago, man. You know what I'm saying? You had to be around, man. You had to be around to know that. Little Buck, dogs right off of Little Buck and shit. I seen Little Buck, Razor. I seen all those dogs on the yard. All of them. All of them, baby. You know, so just to you know, we reminiscing though. It's good to reminisce. Good to reminisce, man. Who else I remember? Sally Day, Tila. Who's this bitch? Can't remember. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember her. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember her. Unless I know who she bred to. Let me see. Raider. Yeah, this is and you know, it's always some method to some madness too. Okay, yeah, that's that turtle stuff. Okay, so Tila was if I'm not mistaken, yeah, she was a turtle dog. She was that turtle stuff. And they had them dogs. I remember them dogs, man. I remember those dogs. You can't my memory is gonna catch up to you. But that's memory lane. Let's get back up out of here. Cause we can go all day. I'm telling you, we can go all day because we done been around these dogs though. But that solo dog, man, he should be special. That should be something special. It's double bred, line bred on that lady charge shit, and then crossing it with the Macho Buck, Mr. Macho Buck. That's the best of what they've got out of that, in my opinion. You know, the G4 stuff, Virgil, you know, all of them dogs, you know, that's all good blood right there. So this stud that you crossed up into is really good. And then you know, you're putting all this in there. Like I said, I can't just get mad at the dogs just because, you know, somebody I don't fuck with got the dogs. You know, the dogs they didn't snitch on nobody. You know what I'm saying? The dogs didn't snitch on nobody. I mean, they could be good, maybe not. You know, it's time will tell. But it's a good breeding. I kind of these welcome on them guys, they kind of lost me kind of back here though. You know, like Buddy. You know, I remember Crazy Eye Shakur. I had 2 littermates to this dog. I'm the one that got these dogs famous. You know, there wasn't nobody checking on no Crazy Eye Shakur shit. And then if you look at their pedigrees from the last, let's say 20 years, then those dogs is the most damn near the most famous in the pedigree. So I already know. You know, I don't need no confirmation or nothing. We already know. Let me see, because a lot of times you gotta bust niggas' ass. When you say this type of shit, you gotta bust their ass because they'll think that you're lying. You feel me? Hold up. Let me see. Let me look. Okay, so they got different dogs. Let me see. They got different dogs. Well, I'll let you slide today, but just know that we got that shit locked down, you know. But after that, I just kind of lost track. That doesn't mean anything, though. You know, some people lose track all the time. You know, then you got this shit, the hog shit. Me personally, I wasn't never a fan of hog or his blood. You know, I mean, I probably could have had 20 of them if I wanted them, but I just never felt the need to jump on it. My thing was that I'll sit back and wait and see what everybody else gets off of it. And then I'll make my assessment at that. And it's from so far, I'd made a good decision staying away from that shit. I'm not saying it's not good, but there was nothing significant that I can just pinpoint and say, well, hey, that shit is, this or that, you know what I'm saying? On that type of tip. But the Maydasia dog with the Keystone stuff, I have all these Mayday lines. I've had all these Mayday lines. I've had dogs off of Keystone, multiple dogs off of Keystone. As a matter of fact, there's one still living right now. Lady Stone passed, for people that asking about Lady Stone. She was right off of Keystone. But let me see. There's these dogs be having different heads and shit. Okay, so that's Lady Stone right there. She was right off of Keystone. And then you gotta, let me see, because I can get to the other one. Oh yeah, that's a good breeding I did too. I did this breeding. Took Little Boy back to Lady Stone. That's a good breeding. But I got one off of Keystone back to a crow bitch. Her name is Nanny. She's bred good. I wonder what these guys did with this dog. What was they doing with it? Okay, so they look like they crossed it up with the Pecos stuff, the Cock Diesel stuff. Okay, so they doing real good with it. That's cool, man. Date of birth 2024. Let me make sure they ain't doing no fraudulent breedings and shit, breeding puppies and shit. But yeah, so far so good. But they definitely got that backside for me. I helped them out with that. Got them, a nice little piece to the puzzle. But I won't say that the Keystone was my favorite, although you can get good genetics, going in there. I think they got a kind of a fucked up demeanor. Like they be good, but their whole demeanor is kind of off, and that's something that I wouldn't want to double up on. Get too many copies of that shit, like we're talking about with genetics. But for all in all, it is what it is. Okay, there go Nanny Doss right there. So we got this bitch right here, and there's been some good shit. There's been some good dogs. You know what I'm saying? Let me click on this one. Let me see. There we go. Yeah. So, I mean, this shit runs deep, but you definitely get to, and this bitch is the truth, but she still has a fucked up demeanor, though. She has everything else, but she has a weird ass demeanor, and she's just like a schizo. She's kind of schizo with it, you know what I'm saying? But as you can see, we threw that baby Osiris on top of that. He's also got his little crow, well, not little, but a big crow presence in there, kind of, line breeding on the Osiris blood, and then doing your thing, just kind of putting the Barracuda with the Michael Myers, just kind of real simple. This is a real simple style of breeding. You should get pretty consistent of what it is. Nanny, although she threw good, this was a great breeding, so good as a whole that we just said, you know what, fuck it, and threw it right back to baby Osiris. And this is 00. She's been around, so she's double bred baby Osiris. We actually, my guy Green that won the free puppy from the Borderland Kraken raffle that we did. I know you guys remember that, and he's got a nice litter on the ground. I gotta throw that shot while we at it, while we flipping through these pads. You know what I'm saying? We gotta definitely look at that. So he's got this boy, this Sunny boy, bred back to 00. This somebody was supposed to get Double O. I'm so glad that they didn't. They went ahead and got a Niggerino dog instead. You know, that might be one of those mistakes. You know what I'm saying? It happens. Sometimes you don't know a gift horse with staring you in the face. If you don't know, then how would you know? You know, you're gonna try to follow the trend, or you know, you're just gonna try to do something for clout, and you're gonna try to build your yard like that. But this was built off of hard work, you know, straight up, standing the test of time. That bitch is beautiful. You know, I seen a video of her, you know, her nursing the pups and shit. You know, she looks, I mean, just beautiful, man. Beautiful bitch. You got all of this good stuff. Jack Sparrow, all those dogs back in there. All, you know, Red Boy Jocko Bolio, Tombstone, Tance, Matt, all those dogs. You see frequent flyers. You got your frequent flyers, and then you're doing a little bit different with this bitch. Beautiful bitch. That bitch is beautiful. Coming down off the Amball stuff with the Nico Jr. and the, you know what I'm saying, the angel face, Hollingsworth Bull, and you know, it kind of gets concentrated on some dogs. It gets concentrated on some dogs. So my intention, these would be nice. I think there's a couple males that could probably squeeze about, at least one male that could probably squeeze about the door if somebody's looking. You know, I gotta shoot all the shout outs to all my guys. You know, if they got dogs around and people need to know. You dig? Ramadan, what up, man? Hey, appreciate the super chat, my brother. Yo, need that War Pony too. That's what's up. I ain't got much Skrilla, but I need that. Okay. Now we'll figure it out. We're gonna War Pony 2. There's actually a nice granddaughter with one of our good brothers. One of our good brothers wealth the litter to this far, and then one of our good brothers just snatched them. It's 3 puppies, 2 females and a male. I'm pretty sure one of the females could probably get somewhere. I believe it's a granddaughter of War Pony 2. Let me see. Let me make sure. Nothing crazy going on behind this. Let me look. That one is yeah, let's look at this. Show you this. This one's really crazy. So yeah, there'll probably be one female, possibly the male. I gotta talk to my guy. It depends on how he's feeling about it. But it wouldn't matter if both females got kept, or a male and a female got kept, or shit, all 3 of them get kept. I think it's a hell of a breeding. It's something that you know, you're just not gonna see every day mobbing around. That's it right there. Little Mayday back to Lynch Doll. Singing Bullet 2 and Carrie Bayless the Falsifier. Both of those dogs off of Michael Myers in the original Singing Bullet. Singing Bullet 2. So Carrie Bayless, that's KB, and Singing Bullet 2, both of those litter mates. Then you got your War Pony 2, the Prodigy, you know, going head to head with Snakehorns Jocko. Snakehorns Jocko, arguably, you know, one of the, and Little Mayday, you know, if you put him both in that rim, that's what I was talking about. How that Little Mayday blood is, you know, he's just a Southern Kennels clone almost, right? You know, you look at the pedigree and all the components, you know, how he's put together. Just that little quarter on the top. That's what I'm okay, so they're gonna be taken forever. But okay, so we look at that component on the top. You see how many times that you're gonna see Barracuda popping up in there, Mayday, Southern Kennels, Christine, you know, all of those dogs, and Victo, Mayday back in there. Like everything is pretty much concentrated to the max. This one's Holly Molly, arguably one of the best bred dogs in the whole pedigree. You know, but unknown, that's fine. So the Mayday Junior dog, this dog Katana, the Luke Kane, Dixie chick, all those Nico Jr. and stuff. We had litter mates off of the I believe Dixie chick bred back to Luke Kane. This same one, I think Gene, Luke, and Holly was off of this litter. They got red rating on there. It's probably some different pedigrees that I could find that has those two dogs. I remember that litter. There was a dog named Gene Luke and a dog named Holly. And let me just see. That's a beautiful bitch, man. That is a beautiful bitch. That is crazy. She is beautiful, man. Hold up. I can't just let that get up out of my memory. Can't let it just slip my memory. Let me look at something. Okay, that's perfect. We got to whistle while we work, man. Whistle while we work. You dig? Hope y'all enjoying the show. Tap the like button. You know, we still getting it in. Ain't nothing changed, man. Ain't nothing changed. We still gonna get it in. It's gonna be some dog talk. I ain't been bombarding you with everything else, but it's a lot of topics that we could be talking about. I've been trying to keep it dog because I've been missing some days. So give you guys that dog man fix. We flipping through some pads. We flipping through pads. Pad heads. Yeah, I needed to that Dixie chick, man. That bitch. And just because we had dogs coming down off of her. I actually named some dogs Dixie chicks. I had two. And I named them Dixie chicks. But you know what it is, man. Smack that like button. Walnut P, what up, brother? And just flipping through it, I mean, we can't even get through it. You got all that Zusa, deadlift, all of that, Mayday down there, all of this. What is this? What is this down here? Okay, boomerang, just heavy boomerang. That's refining the boomerang that's already in Mayday. So that's we want that. We want that little bit of diversity. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so we still in there. And then everything else, you look at this dog down here, Barracuda, Mayday, you got you some Tab back up in there, Jeep back up in there, Barracuda right there, deadlift, back to Mayday's mother. So this would be a half brother to Mayday, bred back to Mayday's son. Or half sister to Mayday, sorry. Bred back to Mayday's son. Then you get one out of that, breed it back to the half brother. And you just keep going. You keep going. Tampa, we know he's bred out of this world. Mayday galore. Deadlift, Mayday, Barracuda, galore. Right. And good traits, good dogs. This dog has produced plenty of good dogs that we could say and we could see, like, okay, yeah, that dog is produced, he put in work. He put in some genetic work. And these dogs are crazy. That's just the top of that. The Michael Myers Singing Bullet fiasco is nothing short of just absolutely nuts. You're seeing their heavy line breeding that's just on the bottom. That's only on the bottom. Heavy line breeding off the Awesome Beast dog. All of the good dogs in here. You could just have a bloodline just off of this right here. Toothless Jack. All these dogs. Like, you got to do your research, man. Proud Mary, Luke Kane, right off of Clean Mary, STP dogs, all that they've done. And you keep that Nico Jr. Down there at the bottom. Okay, then you got the Alpo Envy or the Macho Bear Envy. People can argue. Me personally, out of the Macho Bear shit, I think Alpo was the best dog out of that dog. Me personally. And so I went in that direction and it paid dividends. I took that Dotera Alpo, took her to arguably the best producer that I've seen in my life, and which is this Singing Bullet bitch that had all of that good shit at the bottom of her that you can start a whole program off of. These dogs, this is high octane right here. This ain't no little slouch, just getting food on your shirt and shit. This ain't that. You got to go somewhere else to get that. Michael Myers, arguably one of the, people say it, you look at that fucking pedigree, that's arguably one of the best fucking bred dogs in modern times. I don't care. Show me one better. Show me one better. Okay. With Grand Champion Yellow all in his motherfucking pedigree. Okay. He wasn't playing around. He was doubled up on that lady dog. Yeah, people got lynch dogs. But Michael Myers surpassed his daddy and Damien. To me, he surpassed everybody. He's the only one that in the pedigree that, to me, other than Mayday and these guys, and of course you gotta love ice cream. He's the hidden ingredient in there that gets overlooked, right? He's that hidden ingredient that you see up in there. That Ice Day dog, Bumper. The Vernon Whitley dogs, there's a lot of dogs in there. It's a lot of dogs in there. And that dude, he's not playing. He's not playing, And years later, we still talking about him, Yeah, Michael Myers would be 20 years old before you know it. He'd be 20 years old. People still ask me if he's alive. They're like, is he still alive? Yeah, that motherfucker's still alive. He is still alive. He's going to be alive forever because he's living through these dogs, right? He's living through these dogs, locked in. You see the same thing down there. I mean, we broke it down. We went through there. We went up through there. War Pony. You see what War Pony's up to. His pedigree's amazing too. Mayday, 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 Dragon Lady, Mayday, Yellow Girl, Mayday, Blondie, Boomer, Red Stain, Macho Buck. It's like, come on, man. Grand Champion Tango. They said this is one of the best dogs. They said he was a grand champion. He was the Reaper. They said this dog was the Reaper, back in his day. Everything's past the statute of limitations. We don't glorify none of this type of shit. We're just flipping through peds, You want you a good car, this car's got a good engine in it. It's not going to be if it produced good for you, you're not going to be surprised. You take this to some Pure Bolio, or you take this to that good Jeep that you had, or, you take this to that goddamn Solo crossed up with that Big John and that Lynch up in there. Yeah, that part, That's what you do with that. But who knows? Who knows where the dice gonna fall? Everybody's not shooting dice. Some people's shooting with precision. And he said, let's talk Eli. And Eli, we could talk Eli, man. I got a pedigree that shows how he's actually bred. And, it's kind of crazy when you keep hearing these things over and over and over, about, the dog bred like this, it's bred like that, all of this, all of that. You dig? You dig? No. Eli. So yeah, I don't really got no Eli dogs. I think Eli is a grift. Like when people say Eli too much, I think it starts to be a grift. That's why I always say Eli Carver, because there's actually more Carver dogs, and 90%, well, 75% of the dogs that I've seen, if they people say they're Eli dogs, they got a lot of Carver in there. You know what I'm saying? So, I just think it's kind of a griftalodian type of deal. Even the tightest dog, you could say Boudreaux. We can go look at Tom Garner's videos. We could look at anything right now, and they're gonna be like, yeah, this is the tightest Eli. Yeah, this is, and then we go look at the percentages and stuff, and people get mad because we know how to add. Don't get mad at me because I know how to add. I'm just not stupid. Now, the shit that I showed you, if that shit was heavy bred off of Eli like that, then you could say that shit is tight. You could say that if you got Eli back to his littermate sister, take one of those back to the mom, do this, do that. You got some other stuff off the mom, cross back up into it, breeding down, you compressing it. And a lot of times when you got these dogs, you're not thinking about that. It's like Wilt Chamberlain. He wasn't thinking about having a machine that you could rebound for you. He wasn't thinking about that shit. He probably would have been a better shooter. You see kids on the internet training and shit. Shit, you didn't have that back in the day. You just had to go get good in your own little section. That's all you had. You feel me? So yeah, we're gonna breed War Pony up. We're gonna do a lot of breedings this year because a lot of the dogs are getting older. Iceman, he needs 4 breedings. Baby Osiris needs a couple breedings. War Pony need about 3 breedings. King Tombstone needs 2 breedings minimum. And there's a few more. So you might want to tap in. It's gonna be that time. Little Mayday. I kind of like those ones I just showed you. I kind of like that. And then he's got some other litters and stuff. So, he can kind of chill for a minute. I think Little Mayday's about 5 years old. If I'm not mistaken, he's about 5 years old. So if he's taken care of good, he might be able to squeak past a few more summers before we really have to worry about him. You know what I'm saying? Iceman, hey, that Iceman, he's very underrated. He needs to release the beast. He has a beast of a son. He needs to put out 10 sons so we could sift through them and see which one is going to carry the torch out of those 10 sons. That's a refinement process. Not go get 3 of them and keep them till they die and think that you did something. You didn't do anything. You believe in those dogs, go get a handful of them, sift through them, see what's good, throw out the bad, see if it's consistent, on to the next. Hard times don't last. Remember that. Remember that, man. Hannibal, Iceman. We're gonna take a Iceman daughter back to Hannibal. When that breeding drops, don't have your bread ready. Those ain't 1,500. Them ain't 2 G's and shit. Them joints is gonna be 3 bands and up. It's the tightest that you can get. It's the tightest of the lynch blood that you could get coming off of good producers. You got good specimens crossed with good producers, top and bottom. You feel me? It's the best. It's the best of the work. You got one? Yeah, we'll have one. It'll be the same sauce in 5 years where we talking about, yeah, this motherfucker Hannibal 2. Yeah, this motherfucker's gonna be the good producer. We're gonna be talking about it the same way. Like, yeah, man, we had Hannibal, man. Nobody wanted to breed to him. You know, you can get the APBT magazine and breed to him for 1,000 in Bitcoin right now. And Bitcoin just dropped 12,000 in 2 days. You can get them for 1,000 in Bitcoin. Come on. Breed to them. Get that straw, lock that shit in. You know, that's how you do it. Get that Hannibal straw, lock that shit in for 15 years. You feel me? Lock it in for 15 years and bring that shit out with that Mayday and all that shit all in the pedigree. That's what you do. That's how you be iconic. Okay? That's what you do. That's what you do. For the Lecter sauce. Let me see. Let me see that Lecter sauce. I'm not playing, bro. I'm not playing. That's what you do. If you like that Michael Myers, if you like that Lynch, if you want something that's just draped as tight as you can get it, 75% Michael Myers, you feel me? Already producing good dogs, right? It ain't gonna be short of amazing. And none of these, most of these breedings did not happen. Don't believe the bullshit. Don't believe the bullshit. You feel me? Do not believe the fucking bullshit. Let me see. Where's Sexy Red at? There you go. AK breeding. This is the one I'm talking about. That's gonna go down hopefully this winter or spring. Winter or spring. Okay. These ones are actually gonna be 4 times Michael Myers, and they're gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These would be like 9 times Lynch. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Somewhere around there. It's going to be real tight. I'll tell you that. Yellow Page is sneaking back up in there. Right? This is that Sexy Red and Raiden breeding. For y'all, that's liking that. For y'all, that's liking her. You know? And for you guys that think she's young and shit, Sexy Red will be 2 years old. For the guys that, she said he's gonna breed. Yeah, Sexy Red will be 2 years old, bro. If she breeds today, them pups, before the pups drop, that bitch will be 2 years old. So you know, we don't breed 9-month-old puppies. You know, we practice what we preach around here. But as you can see, what she's compiled of, double bred on the Michael Myers. We're throwing the Yellow Page in there to keep the diversity, and we can look at the Yellow Page. And somebody fucked up this pedigree, but this is coming down off this Beijing stuff. You know, this Beijing dog right here, you know, you cannot deny this. And it's got the crab T-stone and all of that. And Krabby Patty is a granddaughter to Keystone, to T-stone. You see what I'm saying? So It's just time and time again we clicking back and flipping back into the way deep back in these pedigrees, bro. We flipping way deep back in these pedigrees, and we still got the dogs up in the front. Damn. Damn. All I wanted to do, you know, and this is perfection. Those dogs turned out great. You want to know how this litter turned out? They turned out great. You want to know how great? Shit. That's all Iceman throws is great dogs. Right? He's the son of Michael Myers. What do you expect? Right? So you double that shit up. You got this down here. Right? You got all of this. You getting that diversity. Yeah, Lynch. Yeah, we know who's the man. We know Michael Myers was the man. We know Michael Myers was the best producing son. We know Michael Myers was the best son off of Lynch, right? That matters when I tell you this, because you're going to go flip through 10 of them and you're going to find the best one, and that's going to be your selection moving forward, and that's going to make your dogs that much better than those other dogs in the consistency. But we still understand about line breeding. So what's the best thing that we can do? How about a double bred granddaughter of Lynch, right? Double bred granddaughter with all that she brings to the table. Somebody said this pedigree was fake. They hating. To me, I think they're hating. I think it's cap, and I think they're hating. Right? Okay. You got another one of Damien's brothers right here, Macho. That's one of Damien's brothers right there, right? You got the yellow buck dog, right? Right? That's Blondie's litter mate, right? So you got Mayday Blondie right here, Blondie's litter mate. Miss Nico, she's got a little bit of Jeep in her. T-Stone, all those dogs, what I was telling you about, all that crab stuff. Right? Right? Okay. Okay. So what's down here? Same thing. Some of the tightest Grand Champion buck stuff you're going to find. 357, all these dogs. This is probably the best of buck without Macho Buck himself, right? So then when we take these dogs and cross them up with Macho Buck dogs, and we find out that, hey, you know, those dogs are pretty good because you got Macho Buck in the back of Iceman, right? You got Miss Macho Buck back here in the back of Iceman, right? And then you got Macho, all those other dogs, all those siblings to Damien, all of the siblings to Blondie, the you know, the kids off of Blondie. It's creating something good. So just know when we do this, it's not for play. You know, we're not just trying to piss in the wind. You know, this breeding is highly anticipated. It might even be repeated. Hannibal's getting old. Hannibal's 8 years old. We can't be sleeping around just thinking that he's still young when he's not. He's every bit of 8 years old, right? So we're going to put that in there, that Michael Myers, you know, all of that. That's going to be really tight, right? Those dogs are going to be really tight. 60 something percent. Those dogs are going to be 62.5% Michael Myers, right? Not like Eli. Eli dogs are 9% Eli. The tightest one you could find today is 9%. How can I possibly expect to get the traits off of a dog if it's 91% of something else in the dog? Hmm? Mm. Mm. Hey, man, tap in, man. You know what it is. You know what it is. We ain't just up here for our health. We're putting in the work, letting you know about the dogs, letting you know what you should expect, putting it in for the community, you know, letting them know, giving that encouraging inspiration for that next generation that's coming through with good dogs. It's the fraternity of good dogs. That's it. Cleasy B, man. What up, man? Cleasy B, man. That's my guy, man. That's my guy, Cleasy B, man. When I get up out here, man, our days worked out, man. I did it. I got up here. We got it in 2.5 straight. No callers, just 2 and a his ass. Busting them. You know where you at, man. I get it in. I get it in. And I got a lot of respect for old timers. They got a lot of respect for me too, bro. You got to look at that shit, man. When a motherfucker walk in the room, you got to pay attention. Sometimes you got to pay attention, bro. You know? It just ain't shits and giggles all the time. You dig? But let's get some collaborating in, man. What the hell? I'm trying to do some more shit, man. I want to get some panels and shit and, talk about some of this celebrity junk and, different stuff like that. But I got to get my people, they Bulldog Sunday. I miss Sunday, but you're going to get that Sunday, Saturday. You're going to be getting it in, man. You're going to be getting it in, man. You at the right station. Hopefully my guy Wayne Milne in the building, man. Appreciate you, my brother. Let's get that game room popping off. It needs to pop up. Let's get it in, man. Get some people up on there. Get some talking. That camaraderie. We know where we like to go. We know what clubs we like to go, man. Hey, I'm telling you, read the room or get read. I'm trying to tell you, man. You better. You better, man. Yes, sir. Hey, Ween, man. Appreciate that super chat. Appreciate that, brother. We doing something, man. Get it, every show, man. Just a little something, man. Some likes, put it in the algorithm, people share it, all of that. Get that magazine. I ain't gonna stop saying that. This next one, everyone from here on, it's gonna be something that you really gonna dig into. There's a lot of these lectures and stuff. I'm not gonna just put them in here like that. I'm not gonna just go in tough like that. But that magazine is going to break it down in its simplest form. You'll be able to understand it, everything. And that's where the hidden jewel is. That's the thing that we're going to do. Yeah, we got good pictures and different things, pedigree, stuff for you to look at. But we also got a treasure chest of knowledge in there that even if you just buy one magazine, you're going to get enough in there that you're going to probably want to get another one. But you're going to have a lot of info in there. There's a lot of different stories, a lot of situational things. That's what this is, because these dogs are unpredictable. We don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if this dog is going to do anything and die and do anything. You got it this week. Oh, yeah, I'm going to skip this breeding. And then to come back the next breeding, the bitch die. First, no, she don't die right away. You breed her. You breed her and everything. She don't even take. And then, I'm not worried about it. I'll just breed her next time. She dies. You never know what's going to happen. So you got to be diligent. You got to be, play with intention. Don't just be jelly dicking around with dogs. Play with intention. Build a strategy and execute it. This Buck City, man. I'm out.
Moving shit, all in kennel wig. Got this one lady, bitch, she live in kennel wig. She stripped and rich. hoes that going for me, freedom risking. I got 2-3 hoes, they gon' get it done. This they zip code 99301. They hit PP loans, so meant for moving O's. They in Section 8, probably never own a home. And I get it in Yakima, 98903. White bitches smoking, she gon' die about me. 98904, she my 304. 98908, that bitch trained to go. And them blues got me in my state. I got clientele in the Tri-Cities. LA Fitness, I be moving weight. Get your head off, take it off my plate. And them blues got me in my state. I got clientele in the Tri-Cities. LA Fitness, I be moving weight. Get your head off, take it off my plate. I'm in a D-Star hotel, cost 133. It never occurred to me. Moving a bird at least, move 2,000 blues for that 5 apiece. I just hit that Tri-Cities like a robbery. I'm in a 99336, that weather be hot as shit. My purse be high as shit, but the feet so bright as shit. Then I drive to the 99352, I'ma make them bodies blues. Jumping after I rent a car, but I still all by the rules. Moving in Eastern Washington, had to drive through Ellensburg. Had to stop in Lakeland, cause I had to sell a few birds. Tri-City bitches go for me, cause I'm hella good with these words. And you ain't even move that way, and I know it can sound absurd. And them blues got me in my state. I got clientele in the Tri-City.